In this video, we will study how to declare a pointer variable. A pointer must be declared before we use them, and the general format is data type star pointer name. We have to use the star operator. Now, when we are declaring a pointer variable, for example, I am giving like int star ptr semicolon. So whenever I am writing this kind of statement, the compiler will understand that ptr is a pointer variable which is pointing to a variable of integer type. We have seen the definition of pointer, isn't it? What is a pointer? It is a variable which is having the address of some other variable, isn't it? Now whatever the variable it is, it will be having some data type, and when we are declaring the pointer variable, what kind of data type we have to use? The data type of that variable we have to use. For example, I have given like float star p. Now what is p? It is a pointer variable which is pointing to a floating point data type. Now after doing the declaration, we have to initialize the value for a pointer variable. And the process of assigning the address of a variable to a pointer variable is known as initialization. So initialization means assigning some value. For a normal variable, when we assign some value, it is called initialization. So in pointers, what kind of values we are initializing? We are initializing the address of a variable. So we will see one example here. Int a. Int a is a variable declaration, isn't it? A is a variable of integer type. In the second line, we are declaring the pointer like int star ptr. And in the third line, we are initializing the ptr. So what kind of value? The address of A is assigned to ptr. Now both this declaration and initialization we can combine and write as one statement as int star ptr equal to and a. And remember that when we are doing this kind of statement, when we are writing this kind of statement, the variable a should be declared before we are doing the initialization. Now as you can see in this picture, we have a variable a and we have a pointer ptr. Now what value the ptr is having? 2000. What is this 2000? It is the address of the variable a, and a will be having some value, isn't it? That value is stored in the memory. Which location? At the location called 2000. Now ptr is also be stored in memory and it also has some address, and the address of ptr is 1050. This is just an example. Okay, so we will write the same statement as code. So I have written these statements here. Now how can I print the address of A? We can print the address. There are two methods, isn't it? With I have to use the percentage %p, or I can also use u, percentage %u. What is u? It refers to an unsigned integer value, comma, And if I'm writing PTR, I can print the address. So this is the address of the variable A. It is not the address of PTR, it is the address of A variable. And instead of writing PTR, I can also write directly using AND A, isn't it? It will print the same answer. See here, 64222216. This is the address of the variable A. So I hope this is clear for you. Now, one important point to note is that we must ensure that pointer always points to the corresponding data type. What is the meaning? For example, I am declaring float t, a variable t which is of float type, and I am giving some value. Now, in the next line you can see int star p equal to and t. So this is actually wrong. Why? Because t is a variable of float type, and here I have declared the variable p as int type. So there is a mismatch of data type, and you have to avoid this kind of mistakes while writing the programs. Is it clear? Now, accessing a variable through its pointer. So after doing declaration and initialization, how can we access a value of a variable using pointers? Now in this code you can see I have printed the address. For example, I want to print the value of A here. How can I print? Just use %t, A. Isn't it? If I am giving like this, I can print the value of A. Sorry, I have not initialized the value. Suppose I am initializing 12, and now I am printing the value. You can see the 12 is printed here. And we also know that we are having a pointer called PTR which is having the address of A. So can't we access the value of A using pointer? Yes, we can do that. And to access that value, we have to use the indirection operator or dereferencing operator. So this operator is nothing but the star asterisk. It is called asterisk symbol. So using this star, we are able to fetch the value of the variable through pointers. So we know the pointer PTR value is the address. If I want to print like the value 12 using PTR, I have to just give a star over here. Okay, if I am giving star, you can see the 12 is printed. So this star is acting as an indirection operator. And when we are declaring the pointer, we are using star. So what is this star? When we are writing star PTR, the compiler will understand that PTR is a pointer variable. It is not a normal variable. But when we are using star in an expression like this, see n equal to star PTR, n is a variable and I am assigning star PTR. So what is this star PTR? Star PTR means the value of the variable for which it is pointing to will be printed. Now this star, you can remember it as the value at that particular address. If you see this diagram, for example, the value is 12, PTR is pointing to A. So star PTR is the value at this particular address. What is the value at 2000? It is 12, isn't it? It is 12, and the address we know, address is 642216. So the value at this particular address is 12, which is accessed using star PTR, using the indirection operator or dereferencing operator. So I hope the declaration of pointer initialization is clear. In the next video we will be studying the chaining of pointers.